ESEA. The Legion post-match breakdown.
The fanatical Swedes do it on Train. OpTic's map pick, which takes us to a third. And now I've got some Counter-Strike experts whose brains I plan to pick. It is, of course, none other than Pimp and YNK. And now we do get into the real nitty and the gritty, because we have seen that what doesn't necessarily occur too often is teams winning each other's map picks. And I just want to quickly investigate, how does this happen? How does this come to be? OpTic must have had a game plan coming into this.
Absolutely, but you know, the problem is coming into a map like Train, you start on the T side. I think it probably was fine for OpTic, right? They can be very well prepared, they can have a clear game plan, but Train is a CT-sided map, and you know, the individuals from Fnatic, after winning the pistol round, they stepped up and flushed towards that B bomb site. We mentioned him in the pregame. He was doing a lot of work, not just, you know, winning rounds, but basically getting a kill or two, buying time for his teammates to rotate in, and most importantly, not allowing OpTic to get control of back B bomb site when they would go for their executes.
Yeah, Flusher, of course, a player that you highlighted as well, Jacob, coming into this second map, saying he was going to be a bit of an X factor in terms of finding success for Fnatic.
He definitely stepped up. And he played one hell of a Train game for sure. And you know, you could say that Flusher on the inside, like, he's the most vile. He's the most. Okay, we'll start this over. He's the most critical player on this Fnatic lineup, you know, when you play Train on the CT side. And as Janko said, we didn't really get to see much of it. Like, he was just rock solid the entire game. Lekko did well as well with the AVP, you know, a bit surprising to me that he was the secondary up on Train, you know. We've seen that before, but not to this extent, I'd say. And in general, it's just been good.
You know, I'm just really glad that Flusher didn't get banned, unlike Jacob, who is still wearing his. Let's take that off there. Oh, look at that. That was a smooth transition. I clapped my hands, it's gone, and we do continue our discussion. That was smooth. I like that.
I think the game was much closer than the score perhaps shows, right? Because in the first half there were a lot of, you know, post-plan situation or just rounds that ended up with Fnatic having one or two players alive. If OpTic would just break their economy early on with winning one of those close clutch rounds, I think they would have had a much stronger first half, and then probably would have had a closer game in general. But when you see that they've lost both pistol rounds as well, it's just a lot of things going wrong for OpTic in this one.
Yeah, so is that kind of where we end the discussion, when we just kind of say, they chose the map pick, they weren't bad on the map, but you lose both pistols on Train, and you're playing against a good team who start on the CT side. Is this kind of the
This is where in
summary?
a game like this, that goes like this is where you need your individuals to step up and bail you out of a bad situation, right? In one of those after plans, you needed someone to have a big round, make a big play, and for OpTic, there was no one in particular on this map who did that, you know, more than once, so that it had significant impact.
One of the worrying parts for OpTic in this map in particular was we saw Mixwell working the AVP in the beginning, and after he did not hit some shot and he missed some shot, it was Owl taking it over, you know. And I feel that's not a good sign going into a third map. That's in general not a good sign for the team in itself, you know. You need to have your static AVP play, even on a bad map, you know. You still have to believe he can come back in and, you know, and hit the next shot and hit the next shot, because it feels like Mixwell lost confidence in the AVP throughout the game, you know, and that's not something you ever want to see from an AVP player.
Yeah, in theory it can work, right? If both players say they're both like comfortable with the op and confident, and, you know, I can pick it up whenever if you're not feeling it. But in reality, for your opper to be consistent, he has to play with it almost all the time, right? And then when you go for, I'm not really feeling it, you take it over, then no one is really the primary opper. I think that's something you want to avoid. Astralis had it way back with Cajun and Device.
Yeah, and I remember the whole Kusta shenanigan where he lost all confidence because Simple kept taking it from him, and then you just sitting there like, well, that's destabilizing the whole team.
Please let me.
Please, this is what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, OpTic do have a couple of discussions they're going to be having outside right now in their team huddle, and we're going to have a discussion over in the arena right now. We're going to be talking all about this and, of course, that third map, Mirage. But first, Stunner is over there. The fans pouring out to get themselves some hydration, but you've managed to grab one.
I grabbed one. I lassoed down a Fnatic fan. Can you believe it? His name is Christian. Christian, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man.
Doing good? Well, look, you guys are poised to take it to a third map. Yeah. Can your boys do it?
Yeah, we can. We're going to do it as well.
Yeah, go on. Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, we traveled from Norway through Sweden, so we got the Fnatic connection, so we're going to wreck them.
Gonna wreck them. I don't know. I think the audience thinks the same thing, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe not. They don't think the same thing at all. Either way, man, look. Whoa. Bring it down. Now listen, Christian, I've got to ask. Can Fnatic secure their 3rd Pro League title here?
I don't know, man. They're meeting FaZe. I like FaZe. I'm from Norway, supporting Rain, of course, and Olaf Meister from Fnatic. So I don't know. It's going to be fucking exciting, man.
My word, do they like the F1 around here? How about that, Alex and the boys back at the Xfinity analyst desk?
My favorite F word. Fantastic. Great stuff there. And it's so cool to see the passion from the fans. Chad's already bumped into an Australian who's traveling Europe and happens to be here in Odense. It's a global game, and the fans are what makes it so damn spectacular to watch, especially in arenas like this one here in Denmark. Let's kind of start moving into our next map then, Mirage. I want to make sure we have ample time to discuss it, because Yenko, you made a point that we need to reiterate, which was this is 3 of Fnatic's best maps. Where does Mirage slot into their best maps?
Yeah, I think it's one of their... They didn't play it as much. They only play it 3 times. They didn't have that many LAN tournaments recently, but I think it's in the top 3, you know, depending, probably number 2 after Inferno, I would probably say. And I would give them the edge here because of the structure of the map. It allows for a lot of individual plays, a lot of aggressive plays, and this is where, you know, someone like JW can find openings with the AWP where perhaps some of the other players can't. And yes, OpTic did a great job of beating SK in this tournament on the map, but as Jacob pointed out, they had to basically use the entirety of their playbook. And just in games like these, in playoffs, when it comes to the 3rd map, you're rarely going to blow out your opponent. It comes down to a lot of clutches, a lot of after-plants, retakes, and I just think that the Fnatic guys have more experience and more poise in those situations.
What do you make of that observation about just 3rd maps being a different ball game, Jacob?
You could say so. I guess it's all about the mentality you go into the map with, but you usually see the 3rd map being the closest one, and it comes down to the fact that obviously it's also is the middle ground of the map. You know, both teams have vetoed 2 times. You should end up on the middle map for the 3rd one.
Sure.
So that like puts into the favor for that one. I agree with what Janko is saying, and I feel Fnatic should be feeling comfortable going into this one. As said, you know, OpTic did bring out the entire playbook to beat SK, and they did win that map basically on one strat. I feel still, you know, that was the one strat that teared apart SK, and I don't think they're going to be able to run that against Fnatic. They should be prepared for this one, so they'll have to bring out something new we haven't seen yet, and I'm not sure they have it.
Do you truly believe that because they've exhausted everything they have available to them in that SK game, and that's going to be hamstringing them in this chance? I mean, surely a win against SK is a win against SK.
Yeah, of course. Perhaps even not everything, but you know, it gives you a lot to study. You can see patterns. You can see what they like to call. If it's a low buy, if it's a reset round, what are their go-to rounds, basically, in those crucial rounds, what are their tendencies? And I think that's something that Fnatic will definitely look into, but just in the end, you really want to see OpTic coming into this one with an aggressive style, right? Not being, you know, not playing scared or anything like that. That's the way you need to play against this Fnatic lineup. Otherwise, they can just run over you.
So in terms of win conditions then, because does seem to be a whole lot of OpTic fans in that arena, certainly supporting their boy Magisk alongside the rest. Win conditions for OpTic, you've already said they have to win a pistol, unlike Train, but also, what else? Are we unleashing Magisk? Are we getting Mixwell comfortable on the AWP? Just give me a little kind of breakdown.
For sure, we need to get Mixwell comfortable on the AWP, you know, because he's the AWP player, and he's probably going to start out playing the AWP on this map as well. So we won't see another situation where Mixwell drops the AWP, put it over to Alusan, because that's a sign of, like, things are not going the way they should be. So if OpTic needs to win, that needs to be the case. Also, you know, if you look at the win conditions for OpTic, you know, Golden have been having a rough series thus far. He's at minus 20 thus far, you know, in the series. And Mirage is one of those maps that allows you, if he's playing one of the bomb sites by himself, to expose that, you know, to go towards Golden, you know, see if you can use that against him, like they did use SK's weak B bomb site against SK.
I think one of the weak links for Fnatic is still, you know, when that slow pace style. I don't think they've nailed it just yet. So if you're OpTic, you want to extend the round, basically. Don't let Fnatic end rounds early. Use most of your utility to stem that aggression early on and force them to work for it. I feel like that's where Fnatic may run into a few problems.
Problem with that is
wait.
That's not like playing into OpTic favor. You know, they want to play explosive, they want to play fast. You know, so maybe they have to find a middle ground for that, and that's going to be tough for them to see if they can do that.
Well, we're about to find out, because it is our 3rd map of our first quarter final. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be time for Mirage. OpTic have to slow down and stem the bleed from Fnatic, and they have to show some aggression as well. It's the Swedes versus OpTic Gaming, and your casters are ready.
Map 3 winner plays FaZe. Odense, are you still here? Winner goes on, loser goes home. Pistol round live now, Vince.
I'm hoping this is going to be the start of a spectacular map. It's poised to be, really. Both maps, in the first one was obviously super close. Second one started pretty one-sided, ended not too bad, but here we have it. Fnatic on the T side, going to be charging straight towards the B side. They have some utility, but Freiburg already is making moves up into underpass, and actually, in fact, he's joined by somebody else. So this is going to be a quick wraparound by OpTic. HS takes point. Now Molotov keeps him at bay, and the bomb will be getting planted.
Oh, this is tense. Magisk, he's the only one embarking at the moment. He gets double teamed. Nothing he can do there. And Alu's now blocked out. He's got to hit some great shots. He's got one, and that's it. Now comes the flank. HS and Freiburg. Finally, the Molotov gives away. There's a stellar shot from HS, but they're traded off. And absolutely nothing happens for OpTic Gaming. 1-0 for Fnatic.
Full on B rush. That Molotov that was tossed out round the back, though, I believe, by Golden was pretty huge because Freiburg and HS were wanting that rotation. They're wanting it fast. JW taking no prisoners.
The other tough part is if you have two players in underpass like that and they both go for the flank and you have no presence on catwalk, you have no presence inside the B bomb site. So you have nobody that can possibly slow them down from getting into market. That'll slow things down in mid, at least to start with. A 4-on-5 for Fnatic, but they still... Oh, here it is. Here we go again.
He did tag JW there down to 33. R8 does pack a serious punch. It's just, can you ever actually land a shot, I suppose? But as you say, that opening Quandique, straight off the back, a shiver is sent down the spine of Fnatic, and they do not want to push. They're taking their sweet time.
They're leaving the bomb at mid with Flusha. Both Flusha and Golden have a smoke, so they can block off window and catwalk if they're going to split this A bomb site. Golden hoping to get a pick off, someone peeking for information. Crims and JW over towards A still haven't made a move.
Maxwell just a USP, saving money for his AWP fund. This comes through with upgraded pistols. HS, the Kevlar has been tagged. Able to survive a bit longer. That nade is going to hurt though. He has to dart away. I don't know how he's still alive and still over 50% of his health, but finally Crims will lay him down. And that should be the floodgates opening on A. Although there's 4 players left for OpTic, a couple of them are low. They have very low funds, and Alu has actually finally picked up an R8 kill. Probably won't make a huge amount of difference, though, because the rest of his teammates are being battered. And now Freiburg on 20 and Alu on 13 going to try and retake.
They've got a couple players on Fnatic decently low that they can clean up. If that happens quickly, this could work. But Fnatic playing it well. Crim's hiding. He's the insurance policy inside a Palace. Golden inside the bomb site, not peeking. JW kind of playing contact towards top of A ramp. And now they realize that none of the pressure's coming. They're going to go hunting. Alu is going to bring a Galil into the next round, so he'll be able to either drop the Galil or drop the R8 over to a teammate. And they'll have a few things they can use into the next round.
I'd imagine he's probably the only player on his team that can actually use the R8, so I would expect the Galil goes across. We shall see. He is going to save both weapons. No one on his team has any Kevlar, but he has just picked some up, and he's going to keep the Galil. So Freiburg, who was the player, of course, that was typing in chat after he had that little skirmish with Crims and came out second best, saying how trash the R8 was, is now going to be trying to use it again.
Why not? Take it away. With a chance in the window, JW's here. Oh, he's got a gap in the smoke. It couldn't be any better. But yeah, the R8 misses its shots. And actually, this is great, though, for OpTic Gaming. If you look at the minimap, look at the stack towards the B bomb site. It's 4 players for Fnatic in these B halls. Only JW in mid. This could get dicey.
It sure could. They still have the Galil. It's in position with Kevlar. The Molotov's actually stopping them. It's bunching up the terrorists inside the B apps, but the sprays are going downrange and they're connecting onto OpTic players. And now HS with the USP has to clutch against JW and Crims. He's just going to pick up the Galil instead. Bomb hasn't been planted either just yet. So Fnatic have a little bit of work to do. This isn't a guaranteed round just as of now.
It's a costly round. That part's guaranteed. Now they've spotted HS away, and he's brought down to 16 HP. He can do not a whole lot, although he almost gets JW, almost picks him out of the sky, trying to pre-fire, trying to guess when the peak is going to come in. Looks like he wants to quickly readjust his position, perhaps over towards catwalks, even get a new angle. And he hits the jump, so the timing of this may actually surprise JW, and it does. That's great mobility, but just too much to ask for the win to come their way. But still, 4 kills, nothing to slouch at. First gun round coming up, and again, much like Train, OpTic is going to switch, or not even switch, just going to go right into the double op setup.
Yeah, pretty much the definition of a nice try by HS, but as you highlight, heavy investment, no kits. Mixwell and Alu both going to be running with an AWP, and both of them through mid. So Mixwell's going to go into underpass, Alu in window, and it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade with both of the AWPers on the CT side getting a kill, and Lekro answering back with one of his own.
Flush has got to be careful though. AWP zoned in on Palace. Hears it ring out and he falls away. He wanted to try and punish some of the players falling back from connector, but he just missed the timing by maybe a second. Very narrow margin there. Freiburg is alone over at the B bomb site, but Fnatic have really slowed this down. 3 players at A for OpTic. They've run out of utility. They've just smoked off Palace. So Fnatic have control of the map. They don't quite realize it just yet, but Crims is going to start clearing things out as he comes through underpass. He'll start to realize that mid is open. And Fnatic is just going to have to figure out where the end game is in this round.
Yeah, option is still very much open. Crims slowing down a little bit in underpass, just making sure no one peeks out of window. Going to be a smoke onto connector and a Molotov into the window, so that's going to be 2 areas cordoned off. Almost like a fake as well, because Fnatic, for the time being, are pushing through towards the B apps, and the declaration is pretty apparent. With Crims coming up an underpass, it is going to be a B hit. So Magisk, who originally was on A as well, now has pulled back into a more passive position where he can quickly wrap himself onto B if he so chooses. 25 seconds. Molotov and smoke. Freiburg perched up, though, on the box. He's going to be able to see players come in. And even though he hasn't got a kill, that's vital information that allows the rest of his team to start on their reinforcement grind. Magisk is going to get 1, not a second, but Flusher is down to 30. 7 seconds. It's just a case of biding their time and waiting. 5 seconds now. Mixwell misses the shot. That's going to be a bomb plant as well. I'm not sure if he's just got it. Oh, it's just half a second away. But as soon as Mixwell misses that shot, I bet he was absolutely petrified as to what was coming up.
Yeah, it's a sinking feeling in your stomach, isn't it? Regardless, Fnatic almost make that work. Some great kills by Flusha, but Magisk and Freiburg do just enough to delay that bomb plant. They really had to hunt Freiburg down as well. Still, because they still have the weapons investing. Lekro has the AWP, 2 AK-47s, upgraded pistols. The buy on OpTic side is not very good either. 2 UMPs and a FAMAS. Fnatic again, a very slow approach. 1 player looking underpass, 2 players in B halls, Golden looking top mid for a push, and Crims over towards A all by himself.
This gives up mid control for the time being, though, but OpTic haven't really played aggressively. Had the double ops in play. Fnatic may feel like it's going to be more of a passive defense again. But you do have to wonder if OpTic eventually do start to push like the 2-man death squad up mid, they're going to get so much map control in future rounds if Fnatic continue to be this passive.
Yes, and also as well, I mean, you have to look at OpTic, though. They're being pretty passive as well. Like, Fnatic could have had mid control essentially for free. Alo's the only one really close by. Magisk got top connector. He could help peeking down in, but both teams not really interested in getting in fights early on in these rounds quite yet.
40 seconds remain. No players have lost their lives. Not a single point of damage has been inflicted. And the eerie silence is about to come to an abrupt end. Just shy of half a minute, and now Fnatic are pressing the green button, and they want to try and take A. They want to try and pry it out the dead cold fingers of OpTic. HS trying to get up close with the UMP, taking a different angle, knowing the Molotov was going to greet him. 2-for-1 trade in favor of Fnatic. This time they're not going to be timing themselves out. They're going to get the bomb planted down, and all the pressure shifts from Fnatic to OpTic Gaming. They do have 3 players to retake with and a kit, but only a couple flashes and a smoke.
Well, smoke will block off Crims. That bomb plant went down just as the smoke dissipated, so here comes the retake. Can they do it? Lekro watching for it, but it's great shot from Freiburg. Great cover from Mixwell, but Flush is still alive. Now it's all on Crims, pushing out, and OpTic wins the war of attrition. They're going to get their 2nd. Even without a kit, it'll be easy to fuse, and Freiburg even going to be able to pick up a better weapon as well, finding the AWP.
It is the second round in a row, though, that OpTic have lost 4 players. And with that bomb plant, I do wonder if Fnatic will sense the weakness and go for a force of their own, or if they'll just wait a little bit longer.
If this is any other team, I would have said yes, but Fnatic has shown great restraint in the way that they're spending their economy throughout the first 2 maps of this series. It is kind of wild to think, though, that this is a team that hasn't been doing that force buy trend, especially like you said, when they get bomb plants, when they get 4 kills in these past 2 rounds, they have the economy of OpTic on the ropes. But perhaps because of the AWPs that are on board for OpTic, they don't want to mess around with the pistols. They want to get the heavy weaponry out themselves.
This could be OpTic then bolstering their economy, but they need to get through this one unscathed. They need to make sure they keep at least 4 players alive. And so far, so good. Lekro has been put down. JW, though, the cheek on him just to push straight through connector, getting straight up towards window. But Magisk is going to help Mixwell out, landing the kill from the backside. Golden's given his position away. He's a dead man. And now Flusher and Crims, both in mid, both with Desert Eagles. Can they land something truly special? No. Is the answer.
You can tell JW, he's got to be disappointed with that. He thought he was going to have at least 1 free kill. Flusher spots him out. Toying with us and making it work. Knows where HS is as well. Spinning the crosshair a little bit, having a good time. 3-3 as OpTic equalize things. And here comes the buy from Fnatic. AK is being purchased up. They'll bring a full arsenal to bear. Plenty of nades as well. And Magisk, he just notices it. Fortunate on the timing, it looked like he was going to peek towards a ramp.
Yeah, OpTic a bit fortunate that he's taking more of an aggressive stance in Shadow. Some players will just hide by that right-hand side and just literally stay motionless, stay totally static. So that could have made things a bit more interesting. Full AK buy, though, for Fnatic as they look to steamroll, bulldoze their way through mid. Molotovs being exchanged on both sides, and mid control is well and truly been taken. This is maybe Fnatic realizing that OpTic have never put any presence on Catwalk or through Connector other than that one round where Mixwell dropped down.
This is going to be interesting. This is the old Fnatic lineups basically pioneered this kind of idea. Get mid control, get aggressive, get someone up in the ladder room or window, and then you rotate back around the map and you attack somewhere else, and he's there to pounce and a lurk. He can either cut off rotations or come behind during the retake. That's exactly the setup they've got. They've got JW in window, they've got Lekro in the ladder room. And while Mixwell has to assume that this is what's happened, he just doesn't know. So it's tough to kind of make a read in this scenario. OpTic is split at the moment, and Fnatic going to reconvene towards this A-bomb site.
Yeah, Mixwell's crosshair placement suggests he doesn't know that JW is necessarily in there. But as I say that, of course, he rolls a nade across and does a bit of damage. HS decides that aggression is the best form of defense, but that loss of life is going to put so much pressure now on Magisk, who's still under shadow. JW going to flash in, but Lekro gets the entry. Now it's going to be a two-pronged attack. Mixwell needs to tee off with some AWP franks. There's one. But now there's multiple angles that he has to watch out for. He knows that jungle has fallen too, and Connector is under control for the terrorists, and it's going to be a double peek that yields a double kill for JW. Fnatic take the lead.
That's so sick from JW, and actually doesn't even pick up the AWP, but that's what I'm talking about. Lekro able to cut off one player rotating. Mixwell did get back towards CT spawn, but like, what can you do? You have to hope that Mixwell has some kind of insane individual performance, and it's just not the likeliest of scenarios at this level of play. That's what happens when you don't challenge for mid control, and Fnatic, they noticed it and they exploited it. It's going to have to be an adjustment into the next gun round for OpTic. Flashbang out towards middle. And JW is just going to get into a spray battle. They've got information though, but him and Lekro both lose to USPs. This is going to be start to get a little scary.
Man, that was a full eco. Not a single point of money has been spent. Full USPs, now 2 AK-47s, and soon to be a third are going to trade hands. And Crimson Golden, they must be just scratching their heads. Like, what the hell just happened, guys?
It's all right. Papa Crims is still here. We know the kind of series he's been having, one of the best of anyone in the tournament. Great damage done from Mixwell onto Golden. Again, just another USP. Whittling them down, and Crims needs to find a way to get involved. He's being cautious, which is understandable. He doesn't know where anyone could be. But Golden needs him in a big, big way. Now he's got the AK-47s to go against. That nade is going to give away his position. HS immediately backed off. He was inching up to take the fight. And they have to come here. They have to come into this stack from OpTic because the bomb is down.
Smoke into Flash, making sure no one's in the alcove. Crims with the spray lands the shot. HS goes down. Magis can't really afford to repeat this. He wants to wait a bit longer and try and get round the back of them. He knows that Freiburg's going to have the pinch on if they go through mid, but it's going to be catwalk instead. Fnatic are making the correct calls, but both these players are so low. One of those bullets, a stray bullet through the smoke, would have cost them. Bomb gets planted. But even though OpTic have no Kevlar, they just need to land one bullet on both these players and they're dead. Golden. Perfect crosshair placement will yield the kill onto Freiburg. And our Magisk, as good as he is, if Fnatic play their positions correctly, this round should be theirs now. Flashbang into the peak and Crims. Papa Crims is gonna clutch.
I told you, he is having a phenomenal game, and he is not being rattled by any kind of situation he's put in. 5-3, but still a lot of damage with just USBs. That's got to put Fnatic on notice. Like you have to be more cautious of that. JW gets into an awkward spam fight through smoke into the window room. Bit scary, but this double up setup now is back in the hands of OpTic. It's expensive though. If they lose this, it'll likely have to be another save to get back to a double up if they want to keep sticking with it. Fnatic putting up a good amount of offensive rounds on the board early on in this half.
Maxwell has the angle if anyone peeks this side of boxes, but as we just saw JW on the prowl from underpass, if Mixwell shows his head, it will get taken clean off. Smoke should allow him to escape to safety. HS in the meanwhile is going to draw the first kill of round 9. And the pressure mounts again for Fnatic, who just lost 3 against USPs. Again, mid-control being assumed. Fnatic trying to make the most of this. Freiburg saw 2 players hop across, so he's just going to back away.
Well, there's ladder control again for Fnatic. This time, though, HS, he's pushing Palace. He's got so much information. This is a big peak. Mixwell gets 1. Electro falls, and Golden in this fight can't win it. In fact, he hasn't even connected a single bullet yet. There's the peak from Freiburg. JW has now taken over the A bomb site, but I don't think he realizes where HS is, and Flush has a long way to go before they can meet up. 35 seconds left on the clock. Fnatic in a 2 versus 4.
Yeah, HS pretty much has the nuts position at this stage. Even if Flusher can join JW, JW's already got rid of loads of angles. He's not going to expect HS's position at all. Magisk trying to stall as much as possible. Flusher will take him, but this is where HS strikes. And he's going to get both. Patience of virtue. Well played. OpTic pick up a 4th.
Great initiative by HS as well. Pushing, getting the info, and then being able to win out the round, or assist in winning out the round with those 2 kills at the end. So OpTic survived that double op setup, and I think they only have 1 on the board now. I don't think they were able to salvage the other or afford the other. Maybe they just wanted to get out of it. Nope, came down to money. Flush has got the Deagle, and he's top mid. The rest of Fnatic lining up towards this A site. This might just be a typical hit, and actually, with the amount of mid-control and mid-pressure that Fnatic has put on, there's a window where this is going to catch OpTic off guard. HS is the only person at this A bomb site. A hit now wouldn't be disastrous, but it would be very, very tough for OpTic to recover from and hold off.
That smoke as well is going to force HS out into the open on triple box instead. Magisk though, big kill. It's going to take away an extra player from just forcing their will. Magisk with a second, HS with the second of his own, and a 3rd. Not only do they hold on, but they don't lose any players in the process.
That is great movement throughout the site, great recovery as well, getting aggressive during the hit, and Fnatic, they didn't find any success whatsoever. HS and Magis, great job from them. Fnatic's back onto no money. Everyone sitting just below $2,000. That fake, not fake, but that presence from mid didn't have nearly the impact I thought it would. I thought Magis would have to stick around a little bit longer. JW crosses over, Magisk spotted him out, dispatches him with ease. More coming. There's the hold from HS, and again, Magisk and HS combine. A great spray transfer, great control from Magisk.
Get right-esque for a moment there. Very nicely done.
You've invoked the god name.
I have. I've dropped it. unfortunately not taking part in the quarters. But yeah, I mean, he kind of... I think he assumed he'd already killed the first player, so he snapped down and realized, hold on a second, he's still there and went back up again. So yo-yo of spray.
He did make it look easy.
Definitely isn't.
Tactical timeout from Fnatic, as they've lost a few in a row now. They need to get back to it. It's been 3 straight for OpTic. It's been 6 of the last 8 after Fnatic won that pistol on a B rush. So looking good on defense. Freeze time coming to an end here, ticking away, and it's all rifles for Fnatic. No AWP. JW won't have that weapon. Did get a triple kill with the AK-47 earlier on a round.
I feel like what may be a concern for Fnatic is I believe they've only won 2 rifle rounds thus far.
Yes.
3 of their 5 have came off the back of pistol. So OpTic have definitely had the better of the full buys. Bomb dropped out on the T side of B apps. And Fnatic this time not going to be able to get mid control. This is what I was talking about earlier, where I thought eventually OpTic will go for an aggressive push, and it's yielded 2 kills. Lekr0 will answer back. Can he get more? Yes, a second kill, not a third. Nice try, but ultimately OpTic will still be a player in the lead.
There's a world, he pre-fired Magus, there's a world where he gets that third, but yes. Thank God for Lekr0 if you're a Fnatic fan, because he's brought this within striking distance. That's great delayed aggression for OpTic coming up mid with the AWP. Now Crimson Flusha. 2 players you'd want in this situation if you're on Fnatic. And they're being silent as they work their way up towards the A bomb site. The defense is spread out. Freiburg over at B. Magisk playing passively in the window room. And HS barely even peeking. He hasn't spotted anyone. They're going to gain a lot of space. He's been spotted out. There's the kill from Crims. Nade out towards jungle. And the plant going down. It's a 2-on-2. And there are 2 kits on the board.
2 flashes on top of that. Fnatic have gone through all their utility. Crims using the close angle. Freiburg, you'd assume, will check this spot. Crims, his crosshair was aimed towards the jungle, and that split second was all it took for Freiburg to claim the kill. Now it's up to Flusha. There's one. Trajectory of that grenade will tell him roughly where the second player is. Magisk with less health is going to be put down. Flusha ties us back up again.
You could see the reaction from JW, clapping his hands. Flusha just so good at finding the right time to peek. So awkward for Magisk to take that fight. But this is what we mean, HS peeking in intervals to try and get information to not overexpose himself, and allows Crims to just gain so much space. There's no chance for anyone to react to that. He just basically, it's either win or lose that fight, but Magisk can't help him at any point. Freiburg couldn't get a jump on the rotation. Now look at Flusha, switching things up. Look how aggressive he's being towards these halls, forcing utility out of Freiburg, forcing a flashbang out. Freiburg only has 1 smoke left, and he just used it really early on in the round. Krim still watching for aggression towards A. And there it is. There's the kill. Spam through the smoke, I believe it was, but HS gets a pop flash and clears out A ramp.
HS so aggressive on these ramp defense. We've seen him push 3 or 4 times now. It's sometimes cost him his life, but that time does equalize. After Freiburg was found out, JW this time through a window. Gets caught from the side. It's HS who makes the trek back from ramp to cover window. Fair play to him. And that is a tag through the wall, and Mixwell will finish off Flusha.
Oh, HS has got to be careful. Lekr0's got the read. Bomb still working its way towards B, so Lekr0 either has to cause a big distraction or find a way to get to the other bomb site. And he's going to work his way up top connector, walking right through the smoke just as it fades. Going to turn the corner. HS has got to be prepared for this, and he is. It's a dink. He does lose his life, but he's got the information. He's done damage, but it doesn't matter to Lekr0. The crouch beneath the vision of Magisk and the instant headshot, that's huge.
Lekr0 really coming alive these last couple rounds. Bomb in B apps. Lekr0 with his incredibly low health is going to be taking point. 15 seconds. Mixwell, he's missed a few shots he really should be landing, and you have to feel if they're going to win this round, this first shot he fires out needs to connect, and it will. It is on the weakened Lekr0. At least Golden can still try and get this plant down. The smoke wasn't good. It actually left a huge gap.
It's a tough call, though, because Lekr0 is meant to be the sacrificial lamb to allow him to cross into the bomb site, but at that point it doesn't matter. There's not enough time on the clock for him to fake it and take a fight. regardless, not a bad round overall. Almost brought back into their favor. 6-7. 2 more rounds left in the half, and Fnatic, after being put in the back foot with their economy, I think they're just going to buy out whatever they can these last 2 rounds, see what can work. This is all CZs and a Deagle on Crims. And they're bought out fully.
Yeah, rolling the dice. A few players splitting off from the rest of the pack to go and underpass. But it is going to be a lot of flirtation in B-Apps. Flusher, the only player that's left alive in there now.
This is so cool, though. They know the rotation comes from window room, so 2 players boosted up when that hit was going on. All the utility forced the rotation. Caused a gap in that defense that has now been exploited by JW. But can they build on it? Can they capitalize on that 1 kill? It's still going to be so difficult.
Nice flick from Alu, will find JW. 12 health remains. Yeah, it really is only a small fraction of the struggle that Fnatic still need to capitalize on. Because since they got the pick, they haven't really done too much. They've got into more passive positions.
They use so much utility to cause the rotation to put out that fake, and they also don't have rifles. They only have pistols, so you don't have any advantages, even with the man advantage. Like there's not a whole lot you can do even after this, because you don't have utility to block anything off, and you don't have the rifles to just straight up take duels. Looks like Magisk will be the next one put under pressure.
And because of the nature of how late into the half this is, OpTic, again, I think are okay with playing for a retake. They're okay with Fnatic getting onto the sites. They don't want to lose lives. They want to make sure they retake as a united force. And so JW is going to go in, though, for a kill. Magisk is trying to get some spray through the smoke. Has done a lot of damage, but not enough to yield a kill. Magisk finally comes in for 1. Mixwell spots Flusher darting across the firebox. Vital information. And now OpTic down to just 3. They only have a smoke and a couple flashes. Magisk again on Danish soil is trying his best to keep OpTic in this. Flusher, point blank range, dispatches of Magisk, eviscerates him. Will extinguish at least that initial push, but Alu comes back with another one. Golden is going to be spraying through the smoke, but Mixwell's holding onto it. 3 seconds left. Golden goes back out again, but it's too late. Too little too late. Fnatic get the round. Or concede the round, I should say, as the defuse comes in.
What a phenomenal retake from OpTic. The ops ringing true in the end as well. Yeah, I mean, Fnatic's had a tough time with his double op setup since it was brought out during the last map, and Golden almost just gets it. Such a long reload time, just a half second late. Fnatic, props to them for even getting the round that close with what they brought into it. Now they have a little bit of a healthier buy. AWP is out. It's taken out of the hands of JW immediately by Freiburg, and Lekro's in a lot of trouble. Just a Deagle, and OpTic are merciless. They hunt him down. Golden pounces, but the bomb is in T-spawn, so all this progress that they're making here, well, it's been shut down at this point, and it's just Flusher, the only player remaining.
4 CTs to find. As you highlighted, the bomb's still back at T-spawn. Maybe playing the slower game for now, maybe waiting for someone to push him through connector, but there's no real reason for OpTic to do that just yet. They're in pretty good shape. The only thing that may be a contributing factor to them taking a few players off A is obviously they don't know where the bomb is at this point. So they may think, okay, well, maybe he goes to the B site.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously they're not going to care. They're just going to play 4 players in one site. They could be confused of why nothing's kind of occurred.
I think Flusher is kind of mind-gaming himself at this point, thinking, okay, I've just wasted a good 30, 40 seconds. Maybe someone's drawn off A, but he's about to find out the hard way that's not the case.
When you're in a 1-on-4, right, you can't really mind-game yourself at this stage, or anyone really. You just know that at some point you're going to have to get very, very lucky. You're going to have to rely on mistakes. There's not really a whole lot you can do in some of those 1v4s. Either way, nice half on defense for OpTic. They were dominant once the gun rounds began. Fnatic thanking their lucky stars that they were able to take that pistol, or else they would be feeling very uncomfortable going into the second half. It's 9-6 for OpTic. We're going to switch sides when we return. We'll see who is going to be your first semifinalist, or your third semifinalist, excuse me. Stay tuned. Fnatic's going to need a strong defense to win this one. The winner of this match faces off against FaZe in the semifinals. HS has come alive. He's had a slow start into this series. Magisk still performing extremely admirably. Flusha continuing his success from the second map, and oddly enough, Crims has finally seemed to slow down a little bit, but all that could change. Fnatic on the defense.
You have to think as well that Crims has typically been doing most of his work on the CT side thus far in this best of 3, so you have to think that maybe he's about to strike, or maybe Alu's about to dome him out this round. And that's a great start. Fnatic going to be binding it down a little bit. Here comes JW with one. Golden's already picked up another one as well into Alu. Is going to quickly shift this round in favor of Fnatic. Even if the bomb gets planted, they're going to have 4 players to retake with, and they've got a kit and they've got some smoke.
Well, Freiburg gets caught with a nade in his hand. That's going to make things easier. 2 players, they've got to get aggressive if they want something. Magisk now peeking around. He spots Electro. He swings out wide. He's got Flusha, but great trades from Fnatic. Both pistol rounds won in this map by Fnatic. And that sometimes just spells doom in these deciding games, doesn't it? To lose both pistol rounds on a third and deciding map in the quarterfinals, it's never a good feeling. OpTic still have the lead, but you imagine with the plant, they're going to go for that third round bye as well with the AKs.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what happened in Train as well. Fnatic won both pistols, and we saw how that one ended. 16-10 in the end. Could have been a lot worse, though, for OpTic. And again, you have to pretty much say that Golden getting a kill or 2 from CT boxes before they even got a chance to plant was huge for Fnatic's.
Yes. JW, even just his 1 kill around the edge of that smoke.
Yep. Will be stacking just outside of mid. The nade damage is pretty vital as HS will feel the force. Flush is going to come through with a kill as well. It's a very small investment in this round after the bomb plant. But Alu is going to be the last player alive.
Flusha not even investing, just the USP as well. A couple of kills. You'd love to see that. So Alu's left. 1 versus 3. Would love to take these guns. Either way, it's going to be a bye round in the next one. The plant at this point is pretty much impossible. It would take a monumental disaster for Fnatic to do this. This is where it also gets, I mean, if you look at kind of the pedigree of all these players, obviously OpTic has a lot of experienced players, championship caliber players, but Fnatic, I mean, these guys have been winning majors for 2 years now, like 3 years now. These are the games where they thrive.
Definitely. Grizzled veteran bunch of players. Golden is able to take down with the FAMAS kill. As you highlighted, it would have been a Herculean throw if they'd lost any more players or like the bomb plant from that. But yeah, it was a solid duo of aggression through mid from JW and Flusha. And now we will have a buy coming to fruition for OpTic. Full AKs with a healthy dosage of nades on top.
Same goes for Fnatic though. They've got 5 rifles. They've only got 1 FAMA, so they've got plenty of smokes, Molotovs, and 3 kits. So it's not going to be easy by any stretch in this round for OpTic. Freiburg getting some nade damage early, and even some spam from JW. Freiburg might be put out of the fight very early on in this round. When's the timing on this hit? HS all on his own, working his way into connector. Now they're starting to progress towards this B-bomb site. Lecro jumping, and I think he spotted him.
Spotted and will frag Mixwell. The snowstorm descends on him with a flashbang, but it's not going to matter because it comes straight back in with another. OpTic looked a bit flat in that round. They took a lot of nade damage, though, on their aggression through in B-apps.
Yeah, I mean, Lecro with a great spot just as the smoke was fading, and then obviously that's a pretty dirty crossfire to have set up. 1 at Catwalk, 1 inside the bomb site, and if you get that first kill, if you start hitting your shots as the player in the site, it makes things so much easier. Trading kills, peeking back out when the other is getting shot at, it was perfectly done. Nade towards a ramp. It's all pistols, no armor on the OpTic side. The R8 is back out. Grims gets scared and throws a Molotov into the wall, but the M4 will do all the work. He's eventually traded off. Good kills from Freiburg and HS. It's a 10th for Fnatic, 10-9.
And ultimately, a pistol round, though, they did take 2 rifles away from Fnatic, so it's not too bad for OpTic, all things on the table. But yeah, you got to say that Fnatic taking the lead now look pretty good these last few rounds. Going to have an AWP, as will Mixwell. He's actually only on 9 kills thus far on this game.
Lecro's going to push him the cover of that AWP from JW. Shoots out to maybe to distract, and maybe let him think it's just an AWPer. And Freiburg again takes heavy, well, loses his life this time. The previous time it was just taking heavy damage. He's had a tough time top mid early on in this. And Lekro falls away, so they preserve the 5-on-4. Mixwell has the AWP in the B halls. No one's going to be peeking this. No one's even close by.
Fnatic, not in any great rush to make any movement. They've got pretty much the entire map locked down as far as they're concerned. No angles they have to watch out for. JW just peering, nearly flicks across to Magisk, who will be tossing in a Molotov. Meanwhile, Alu is going to be obliterated by Crims. Bomb still dropped out. More damage being inflicted. I think JW also winged Magisk just earlier on. Now HS is down to 14 health, and OpTic are just getting nothing going their way.
Yeah, no, they're not at all. These initial fights, it's just, I mean, Freiburg unfortunately gets picked off by aggression, but there's no chance of trading any of these 2 kills that have come out. Freiburg and Olo both taken out all on their own. And now everyone even being tagged up all on your own, so you're not gaining anything for the loss of teammates. And I think JW at least hears those footsteps. He's called it out and he's watching for it. That's an easy kill on a Magisk. Mixwell has him pinned in from re-peeking. I'm not sure it entirely matters at this point. They have control of Catwalk, but they've got such a long way to go. And Golden, peeking out from the A bomb site, gets a double.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Even if JW did push through the murder hole and gave his life away, it really wouldn't have made much difference overall. Time was low. They're trying to push on the site where it had 2 players stacked in good positions. And the timeout is going to be called as the last 5 rounds have gone to Fnatic, and comfortably so.
I mean, that's the thing. I think the timeout is more so that this has just looked ugly. Like that previous round, that's when as an endgame leader, just like, all right, everything just collapsed. You know, I died, then Alu dies all on his own. Once that happens, like, take the timeout, settle yourself down. This is the 3rd map. You're only down by 2 rounds still, so you have time to recover. You have to come up with a game plan, though. I think this will be maybe a half buy out of the OpTic side of things. Armor, some pistols, some utility. You're trying to get into the site. You're trying to get the bomb planted, maybe a few kills, but essentially you get the bomb down, and maybe you can get lucky in the post plant. Maybe you can recover one of these M4s or the AWP and make something happen.
They have 3 smokes as well, if they want to go for some kind of a set play, which is looking like they're about to set up with Mixwell. They'll be tossing in a smoke alongside Freiburg. All of their smokes have been used, but Crimson is going to be here with Golden. Go for a 1-for-1 trade. Golden needs to turn his attention elsewhere, but he's going to get pushed from behind from Freiburg just yet, so he may actually escape with this. HS, sure, he's made good progress into window, but it's really the fact that the bomb is back at T-spawn in a very weakened Freiburg that's the problem. Alu's going to be able to push onto B as well. There is going to be only Lekro here. And Lekro is going to spot Alu. CZ not quite triumphing. HS has been tagged down to 23. This round should be all but over.
Yes, there's the spot, especially. You're going to see that big red bomb pop up on the radar. Easy kill. HS finds one. Golden gets caught off guard, but no reason for anyone to really be nearby. JW is going to do it anyways. Perhaps wanting to go for the kill, but his leg's been spotted out. This could be dangerous, but I think Lekro is missed some shots. So JW's pinned in now. I'm not even sure he realizes it. He doesn't. 35 seconds. All of a sudden, this does become expensive one and a little scary too.
I think the fact that HS has an AWP means that he is just going to bow out of this round. He could go for it, but the bomb is in such a claustrophobic angle with 2 players left alive. Yeah, he wants to save. So this round's done. 12-9. But at least they did get damage, as you say. That is going to be costly. I suppose the problem for OpTic is that there's just vast amounts of money in the hands of Fnatic.
Lekro is so rich. It's unreal. 11,000 for him. That's going to balloon up as well. Almost 15,000 for him. So yeah, there's a lot of money on this Fnatic side. 6 straight now. OpTic running out of time to find the answer. AWP is going to be in Mixwell's hands. 4 AKs around that. And it needs to begin right here.
Everyone pulling their weight on Fnatic as well. You just look at those kills. 17 down to 13. Nobody having a weak game. Molly up onto the boxes plus a HE, but no one's going to be home for OpTic in the meanwhile. Mixwell, point blank range, takes out Golden. But Alu is going to fall by the wayside too. So a stalemate in the early trades.
Just when OpTic has something to cheer for, JW evens things out. Takes it away from him. Flusha playing around the edge of the smoke, and Lekro. There's Flusha. He gets aggressive. He knows he had the dink, and Lekro, they've got to they've got to hit the gas pedal right now. They've got to come at him. That flashbang forces him away. He's got a new angle. One's dropped out. A good tag. Can he get into cover? No. But they haven't killed him yet. They haven't taken him out. And Flusha again. A timely rotation over to Catwalk to add 2 more kills onto his tally. And Jumpy's happy about it.
That's why the kill from Flusha in mid was so important, because it opened up mid. He can then wrap around Catwalk, knowing that he was completely free and available to do so. And Flusha ultimately got the kills in the site when Lekro was feeling pressure.
And another tactical pause from OpTic. As it's just, you can see it in the way this half is going. They just don't have an answer. They don't have any flow. They don't exactly know what they need to do to adjust. Frustration starting to seep in on Magisk. He's had a good series, but now facing elimination. It's Flusha leading the way at 20 and 14. HS on OpTic is 21 and 16.
I mean, there is an element of deja vu for me from Train, which started off, I think it was 8 or 9-0 before OpTic started to win some rounds. And that ultimately is what cost them in the end, because they started to make a mini comeback, but there was just such a huge deficit to come back from. OpTic have looked very one-dimensional, pretty shallow in terms of their T rounds, but Mixwell is going to come through with a glass cannon up with AK-47s, stacking 4 players together, and Alu in a position where he could wrap around and underpass if they need him to through connector.
This is good. They've simplified things. It's more of a centralized tactic. 4 players together, even if it's just a simple execute towards the A bomb site, you're not having anyone picked off on one of the extremities. You're at least winning or losing this as a team by trading or failing to trade. Flashbang blinds Golden, he disappears into the smoke. Magisk is there to punish it. Here's Krims with the up, holding an angle. He's taken down as well. The first real opportunity and opening for OpTic.
Certainly the case. You can see what Golden was going for, but the 4th player at the back is what really hurt him. Lekro with 1. It's going to make it a little bit harder to push on the site with, but HS is now taking down a player. Ali's going to take down Lekro in midair. Now JW has his shot and now backs away, but HS is laid in wait. And OpTic, the first round comes up, and it's actually a really solid one.
Yeah, and boy, do they need that. It was 7 straight for Fnatic. And the crazy thing is, with how dominant this half has been for Fnatic, I mean, OpTic's still within striking distance. One reset, one time that they deplete the economy of Fnatic, and they're right back into it. And it's not as far off as you might think. Flusha, Golden, Krims, all below $1,000, all well below 1,000 built up. So a win here might just do it.
Ooh, that nade is going to chunk Freiburg, however. Down to 57, he will fall. Taking some more mid-control, but they still have players in both Palace and Ramp. Mixwell with his AWP trained, waiting for someone to maybe budge an inch through the smoke. Connector control is pretty important as well. HS is waiting for that smoke to clear. They're going to try and make some plays. He needs to be careful though, because Flusha is watching from Catwalk, but he's been forced out of position from some more nades. And there's the trade going the way of Alu. Krims goes down first. Golden is being pre-fired but holds on for a kill. But he's about to see action as HS burns him to a crisp. Golden will give up A control, and with it, OpTic Gaming looking good to pick up another one.
Yeah, this is phenomenal. They found a working recipe in Lekro now. He's over at this A bomb site, but he might just want to try and fight his way out. JW hasn't progressed on Catwalk, and there he's out in the open. He somehow flicks up to Freiburg, but it's a 1-on-3. And OpTic have done it. They've won 2 in a row. They're going to shatter this economy of Fnatic, and JW is going to save the AWP, so they'll have a decision to make if they want to invest around it. This time, OpTic, or these past 2 rounds, prioritizing the A bomb site, this time getting HS at a connector.
HS, a player that has been criticized quite a lot, but you can't really fault him for this performance. He has been astounding.
Listen, he was impressive with Penta and his kind of rise, and I think OpTic has taken that gamble of investing early in him before he quite hits that star level, but everyone sees the skill, everyone sees the potential, if not the performances that would back up that kind of accolades. But still, he's having a really, really nice game here in this game 3.
Now, as you called, with so many players low on funds, Fnatic have very little to play with, just an AWP.
Miss smoke and window could be punished by setup, but it's not going to happen. JW is actually at connector. He's going to be smoked off by 2. And HS, again, going to be aggressive through these smokes. He's going to go right into it.
Flirtatious with Connector for a few moments, deciding that as it smoked, doesn't want to give himself away. He is a huge linchpin for OpTic on this T side. The AWP now for JW, starting to make a move through CT side. Going back into window potentially. Although I suppose at this stage he's not sure if someone's boosted up, so it's probably best he doesn't. He's going to join the rest of his team on B. Now HS looking to go back into Connector once more. Join alongside Magisk, maybe looking for a boost instead, and they are going to pop up now. So HS with 50 seconds, getting into position to come through onto the jungle side as the bomb now in ramp is on the brink of moving in. Crims is going to land the headshot though and finish off with the deagle. Mixwell in the meanwhile will answer back. 35 seconds, Magisk also lands a kill. Golden biding his time around the side of the firebox. HS has done so much damage to JW but unable to finish off what he started. However, the kills are going to just rain in, and OpTic have now picked up 3 on the bounce.
They've closed the gap, 12-13. Another buy coming out for Fnatic. The AWP still in JW's hands. There's the nade that finished it all off. HS with a big-time flank. 4M4s, there's no kits on this Fnatic side. They need to have strong defenses at each one into the bomb site. They cannot afford to have any kind of a crazy retake scenario. Mid-control again, and now Fnatic's fallen into the trap that OpTic was in which they just never really challenged for mid a whole lot. HS has been able to have a lot of freedom. And look at all the smokes that are down at mid. I think there was 5, and one just dissipated. It's actually 6 or 7 smokes on the map all at one time. Molotov's right now towards this B bomb site. It's a split towards B, and Crims is holding off Catwalk. That's a big, important half of the attack, and Crims has pretty much stopped it.
Yeah, Freiburg looking to ascertain some information for the rest of his team. Just going to be holding on the other side of the smoke, and there's a small gap, but he's actually whipped out the spray, finally corrects himself. Crims goes down, and that is certainly a big piece of the puzzle that's now been put in place for OpTic if they do want to hit the B site.
And Alu is just waiting. He's being aggressive at the moment. Mixwell is in mid. He's peering up towards the A bomb site with an AWP. He's hoping to pick off one of the rotators. Alu just needs to give these defenders at A, these Fnatic players, some reason to rotate, some reason to open themselves up to Mixwell, and here comes the hit.
Flash is going to be successful in terms of landing the bench player, but Flasher spraying down. Mixwell's going to go down as well. Turns his attention into B-Apps, but unable to demolish any more players, and he himself will be decimated. JW on the cross wasn't far off on the AWP. That nade is going to do some chunk onto Magisk. Another post-plant situation in such an important, vital point of this map. JW going to be going in first, looking to relinquish as many players as possible. Ali with 9 health though, he's been spotted, and they're going to peek him one by one, and Fnatic will clutch once again and will claim themselves a 14-12 lead.
Down the stretch, JW, Golden winning that one out. Coming up big, these players. Flusher with a great defense on Catwalk. Crims holding off that initial hit when it was going to be fast-paced. Fnatic again just extending that lead. OpTic just not quite being able to catch up, but the plant's going to help, and again, with 3 kills, still keeping the money low. Not an ideal purchase for Fnatic coming out. Crims is going to have a shotgun. Still a chance, still an opportunity for OpTic.
Smoke is a success this time, but no one's home for Fnatic anyway. JW is occupying B-Apps with the AWP on this occasion. Drop out. You can tell OpTic, got to be nervous. We're getting towards the business end of this map and the all-important 3rd map decider. So much on the line. Mixwell will miss. Wasn't an easy shot to land. He doesn't get punished, but Alu spraying through the floor connects onto Crims. Bludgeons him, and opens up a possibility onto A, which is trying to be capitalized on, but Lekro from Shadow not giving it up just yet. Flusher, headshot, delivered first class onto Magisk, and now Mixwell and Freiburg, who've already made inroads onto A, almost forced into going hyper-aggressive. They can't afford to back off. They've got to make the most of what they have, and they'll do just that with a kill onto Golden, but Lekro, he's going to come out ahead of Mixwell, who switches to his side on Freiburg. He got so many clutches in the dying embers of the last map. but not this time around. 3 match points for Fnatic.
That kill onto Crims by Alu through the bottom of the balcony might have just sealed the loss for OpTic, ironically. They did not expect a second player to be there. Crims getting caught out in the open. And just one player from OpTic just brazenly walking up the A bomb site, because in his head he thought that was clear. And it was Lekro that was just waiting underneath for that kill. And that was just too costly to the OpTic team. Just a small oversight. Crims and JW each going to have an AWP, so a double op setup now for Fnatic. And while their money at one point was looking a bit beat up, while their buys weren't very strong, they're looking great right now. Even though it's not a whole lot built up, they are heavily invested into the round itself.
Whereas OpTic will find themselves with a Galil, a CZ, and not too much utility. In actual fact, just one smoke left already. What is the play here? Are we just going to see hyper-aggression outside the likes of Ramp and Palace? Freiburg is occupying mid. Let's see if he can land himself some headshots. But he's gone down first. That makes OpTic very one-dimensional now. They have to just all rush together through Ramp and Palace. HS is answered back with a headshot. Definitely caught a glimpse, didn't he?
Oh, he really did. He wanted it too. He's being patient, but now he's got to be patient, allowing his teammates to rotate over. The bomb is being planted, and what is that? Oh, JW, he does it again. Magisk has to be aggressive. He's trying to hold back Fnatic from this retake. And he knows he's got one isolated. He's being cautious. He's going to turn the corner. Big fight to win, and he's got it.
Crims has gone down as well. This is quickly turning on its head. Fnatic had this match in the palm of their hand, but it's slipping out ever so slowly. Magisk, he's going to take damage, but it's not enough to take him out of the equation. That may not be good enough for Fnatic now. Flusher, if he's going to push, it needs to be quickly. That bomb's been ticking down for a while. Lands it onto Magisk. But JW so low. And Fnatic, they're done. They're backing off. OpTic will live to fight another day.
Yes, they will, by the skin of their teeth. Boy, did they have to claw that back. 13-15 in this third map here of the quarterfinals at ESL Pro League. Just when you think all the heroics are going Fnatic's way, OpTic steps it up. Great aggressiveness, great assertiveness by Magisk, pushing in towards CT spawn.
Oh, that economy, Jason, this is getting spicy.
Oh, it's so rough. This is on a knife's edge. Fnatic, 2 more chances to end this in regulation, to make the semifinals in regulation. OpTic Gaming just barely holding them at bay. 4 players waiting over at A. Alu in middle all by himself. Waiting for the flames to disappear. Now the hit is on. They're going to try and up the speed. They're going to try and catch Fnatic unaware. There's Golden with just the deagle.
A position HS has used so many times, and Connector will now see the Finn. Trying to capitalize. Crims, only the 1 kill, a one and done position. OpTic assuming control once again. And in the back of their minds, they'll know that the next buy won't be too great either. So at some point, do they tap out this round and save the AWPs? Maybe the next kill could be that moment.
I think they do it now. It's 2 AWPs. It's so difficult to retake, but I think because of the flank from JW, they'll give it a chance. But this is huge. This is a big kill. Magisk watching it. Instant headshot. And now Flush has got to run. And now Flush has got to fight his way out. He's got to fight just to keep the AWP into the next round. The money is not ideal, and Alu is already 1 step ahead of him. And he's going to get the kill. 15-14. OpTic has done it. They started this half 0-7 against this Fnatic defense, and finally towards the end they figured it out. It's been 5 out of the past 7 rounds for OpTic.
16-14, 16-10. The final map, we're going the distance. The question is, do we need overtime as well? Fnatic, of course, are going to be going for a full-on buy, but it's not going to include much.
Listen, OpTic's given this crowd reason to cheer. They were quiet for some time in this half, cheering on Magisk, one of the few remaining Danish representatives still in the tournament, giving him a reason to chant for the green wall. And look at what's coming out for Fnatic. Listen, this is an ugly buy. It's all they could scrape together, but we've certainly seen Fnatic in these situations win with much, much less.
Absolutely, and OpTic will know it. They are going to respect Fnatic. They're not going to take anything for granted, because if they do, they can straight up lose this match, which is now, it's anybody's. It's a 50-50 on a razor's edge. That flashbang is going to allow two players to push Mixwell, and he's now in so much trouble. He's been dinked and he's been found. Crims will claim the kill. That's an AWP that now trades hands as well if they can get themselves into position. I assume that they are.
Oh no, not like this. Lekro gets one as well. This is a great strategic adjustment. Big kill for HS. He's been so important throughout this map, and if ever there was a time for him to go to a new level, it's right now. Flusha just waiting, and he hears the footsteps. There's the flashbang. He waits for it. He's going to go hunting. He wants more. HS isn't ready. It's just down to two players. Magisk and Freiburg meeting up in the B halls. Lekro rotating into position. Crims has pushed towards T-spawn. They're getting all the information. Fnatic controls every aspect of this scenario.
They have no kits, and they only have a smoke, though, Fnatic. Can OpTic get those entries? That means everything. Lekro on the prowl. He may have just seen a pixel peeking over the top. Now the smoke has gone in. That's going to give all the information across to Fnatic. But it's going to be Freiburg who comes out swinging, lands himself a kill. An important trade, but Magisk straight back in. Can he be the hometown hero? He's got two more players to find. The bomb is not under his control, and time itself's against him. The spray's not going to work. He's not going to expect the side swipe. But Crims hasn't gone in. He's waiting. He's playing it patiently. And Magisk has no idea where the second player is. Crims is missed. 10 seconds, though. It may not end up mattering. For Magis to clutch this would pull off some ridiculous play, and it won't be happening on this time. Fnatic have done it. 2-1.
It's such a Fnatic way to win it. That kind of a buy, that kind of a scenario. OpTic fights so hard to make that comeback. And what a battle it was towards the end, but Fnatic have made the semifinals. They looked great in the group stage. All season long, we've been singing their praises of their improvements. We've seen it in the online games. And here at the Pro League Finals, they're proving it on the stage. They'll be facing off against FaZe, and there's perhaps not many bigger challenges than that.
You know, OpTic can hold their heads high. They got out the groups, they got through to the quarterfinals. They narrowly, by the smallest of margins, actually missed out on getting to the semis. That is further than many people would have thought that they could go.
Yes, they were a very good story, and it's fun to see their improvement as well. Obviously, a lot of new experiences on that team. The big one being Freiburg as an in-game leader. Had some very good, I thought, some very good T-halves during this event. Some not so great, but always learning experiences. And it's a team that's been a lot of work being put together. I remember talking with them over the course of their lifespan as a unit, all the different events that they had to play officials in, and not as much time as they would have liked to practice. But either way, this Fnatic team, this core, JW, Flusha, and Crims, they've always been so difficult to put away. You don't have too many chances to actually do it. And if you allow them to get back into it, this is kind of the end result more often than not.
And of course, that means that now Fnatic move across to the semis and face off against, well, one of their old brothers, Olofmeister and FaZe. That should be a good one.
What a battle that's going to be, isn't it? Be one of the brethren from all that success in a New Jersey. This has been a grueling series, I think, for Fnatic. So that's it's quite cool to see them take this away. We're going to head down to the stage for the Xfinity post-game interview.
Cheers, Hun. Moses called it himself there. He said it was a grueling series. Did it feel like that to you?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great series, a lot of nerves, but I'm very happy that we were able to grind it back, because we are pretty inexperienced as a team. Our players are very experienced, but yeah, as a team we are pretty new on that part. So yeah, I'm very happy that we showed this strength and actually grind it back.
For all the world in that third map, it looked like it was going to overtime, but you dragged it back. You said you ground it out.
Yeah, I mean, we're still the core of Fnatic, so we knew that these rounds is the rounds we win somehow.
You talk about the core of Fnatic. Now, one man who's part of that core is going to be, well, he's now part of the team you're going to be facing in the semi-finals tomorrow. That's Olofmeister. How much is there still unfinished business, knowing you're going up against a guy who was once on your team?
I mean, I wouldn't really call it unfinished business. We're still friends, and yeah, of course we want to show that he made the wrong choice, but we're just going to go in, play our game, and hope it will be enough.
From a player's point of view, when there is a roster shuffle, what is it like coming up against a previous teammate?
It depends, in my opinion. Like being in the underdog team, which we kind of are, I would say, in this scenario, I think there's like no pressure at all. But if you are the one that comes out on top, for example, Olof in this case, I think there's a lot more pressure on him and more nerves on him. But yeah, I've been on both parts, so it's a lot more pressure being the bigger dog.
Well, you talk about yourselves being the underdog. I mean, Fnatic for a long time was the big mighty warhorse of CSGO. If we look at this trophy, your name is on there twice. This Pro League, Season 6, is it Fnatic's to win?
Yeah.
Easy? Done deal?
Not easy, but I'm confident we can do it, and we're going to show that we can do it.
JW, it's been fascinating talking to you. They are the winners of this first quarterfinal here at the Pro League. They will phase tomorrow. It's going to be epic.
The Legion post-match breakdown.
Words from my mouth, OJ. Epic tomorrow. FaZe waiting in the semi-finals, and Fnatic secure their spot with a victory in a full 3-map series. Got myself Pimp and YNK then to break things down. Myself Machine attempting to guide conversation. Janko, that's so close to overtime. OpTic showing some resilience towards the end, and the casters even saying that that's a series where both teams are almost going to be ending happy, perhaps over a course. Upon review, maybe a week afterwards, OpTic can be happy.
Fnatic probably a bit more than OpTic, right?
Maybe.
But, I mean, I liked what JW said in the end, and I think Jason said it in the cast. It's just a Fnatic round, basically, to end it all, you know. You see how I was, even we were watching the games, 15-13, they saved the 2 ops. I'm like, why aren't you forcing behind us? If you save the last round, you're going to have, you know, SMGs, maybe 1 or 2 M4s, but you know, Fnatic, that's all they need basically, and they make a good move in that last round, clearing out the A ramp, and that's where it all fell apart for OpTic.
Yeah, poor Mixwell's just cowering almost in T-spawn, like I know how this ends. MP9's pushing him down, Jacob. Very a Fnatic round. Is that? Do you agree with that description?
Yeah, I'd say so. A Fnatic performance in that sense as well. You know, there were a lot of those rounds where they won against with some like lower buy guns and stuff. In general, just a messy game, I'd say. You know, just as Fnatic like them. You know, they want them to be messy. They want them to get into the nitty gritty with the money control and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't maybe the most beautiful CS we saw, but it was very close and very intense.
Intense is the right word. Crims as well. The fantastic performance from him across all maps. You can take a look at his statistics. He is top of the table in the server. All 10 players. Crims stands at the very top of that, Janko. And I mean, he's a player that you're always very excited when you see retro, vintage, whatever word you want to attach to that.
Yeah, absolutely, because Crims is one of those guys who is just very intelligent as a player, very reliable, and we used to describe him as this, you know, rock type of a guy. Mostly his highlight moments are from the CT side, as you can tell, even in this reel mostly, right? Because he's so good at holding and being clutch for his team. But, you know, to an extent, in this new Fnatic lineup, he has, you know, shown that he can do different things at times, being the first guy going in, you know, getting those highlight rounds on the T side as well. So it seems like he's having a bit more room to work with, and showing us that he's more than just a solid CT-sided player.
And can you expand upon that, Jacob, the point Janko's making about giving a player room? I've heard every analyst use it. Perhaps you can expand upon what they've done to give Crims room.
Yeah, I mean, there's two sides of that story. You know, I don't think Crims necessarily is one of those players who asks for more room. You know, I think he's just need to on this Fnatic lineup. You know, this version of the lineup, he needs to be the guy that can do more than just being a rock solid player as he was in the old Fnatic lineup. But in general, it's like a good example is back when you had Nico in Mouseport, for example. He took up a lot of space in that sense. He was calling around him, and you can say like he took a lot of room from a guy like Dennis, and how to like go down and how to explain it. It's more like position wise, and it's like, are Dennis allowed to do the same things with Nico on the team that he is without Nico on the team? Probably not, right? Because Nico has a certain way he wants to play, a certain way he likes to do, and Dennis, for example, in Mousesports had some like similar stuff that he wanted to do, but he simply wasn't allowed or didn't have the space for it. And that's where you get into the conversation, or whatever. Can a guy like Dennis pick up what Nico left from Mousesport? Obviously he cannot, because he's not a good enough player to do that, but it still gives him, you know, a better look at the game, and it makes him better than he maybe were when they had Nico on the team.
Absolutely. It's good to see the fact that not only we get a full 30 rounds, but we did get to see some good and some bad from OpTic. Now, Janko, did you have a replay for us? Was there anything you wanted to show us?
Yeah, it was from the first half, you know, because Fnatic did win both pistols again, but they were struggling in some of those gun rounds, and OpTic was gaining momentum, but there was a crucial round in the first half where it shows like OpTic struggles in some of those rounds. I think it's, we always talk about Mirage and mid control and how mid is important, and here you can see, we can pause it straight away just to illustrate it, that they lose completely mid control, like ladder room, window room, basically connector. And look at Mixwell right now, he has to worry about window room, connector, and getting shot from an apartment. That's extremely uncomfortable for him. The two other players are split, Magis inside the site and HS is close ramp, and this is where HS, we can play it out, he tries to make a play. Basically, he's aware he has an MP9, he's close up, he's like, well, we lost all control, we lost all information, I need to try and make a play, but does it by himself. This is where I would like to Magis to go with him. If you're taking a risk, do it together. He dies. Now we can pause it again. You can see how Magis is exposed now to ramp, apps, connector, window room. He has to hide somewhere. He decides to go into shadow and Mixwell to cover ramp for him. Freiburg and Allo are rotating, but because you can play it out, because of the lost control in window room, it's very difficult for them even to make it to CT. It's impossible to try and go into that murder hole and take back some jungle control or connector control. And after that, it's pretty straightforward for Fnatic to close out the round. Yes, Mixwell is still alive, but you can plant the bomb in a way that he can't do anything about it and just win the after plant. I think OpTic, later on in the half, they adjusted. You could see them pop flashing into ramp and actually getting a kill and so on, but early on they were a bit late, a bit slow to do that, and in the end that was all Fnatic needed in that first half.
Yeah, they gave Fnatic Fnatic gave OpTic just enough rope to hang themselves, and we do see, of course, the victory go the way of the Swedes. Fnatic will be playing tomorrow versus FaZe Clan. OpTic will be watching from the stands, as the many fans are as well. Now, there is one man behind all of this magic as well. There is another brain to the brigade of Fnatic, and that is, of course, Jumpy. We don't talk about him too much, but it's definitely worth addressing, and Stun has managed to grab him.
I've managed to grab him, and ultimately we talk about the brain behind the operation. This man, Jumpy, you guys have come in here as the first seed within the European region. Now you're finding yourself all the way to the semifinal. Talk to me about the process.
Yeah, it's been a long process. We just built the team before the online season started, and everything worked on good. We had some problems in the other tournaments to transfer our gameplay online to LAN, but it feels really good now, and all the players is comfortable.
Well, comfortability is certainly a very important part of it, and you guys have had kind of some time now to work on it. I think a lot of questions could be around Golden. Talk to me a little bit about your in-game leader.
It was a golden pickup, I must say. Didn't know, we saw him in the academy team, but we didn't watch him before we started scouting. It was a really good pickup, better than I even thought.
Better than, well, I mean, obviously the results are showing for themselves. Now, listen, going up against FaZe, OJ was just talking about, playing against Olofmeister, playing against a former teammate, but ultimately just having your work cut out for you. Talk to me about how you feel going into that one.
We feel pretty good. FaZe is a really good team, but I think we like teams that go out and aim and give us aim duels. Even if they have a couple of the best aimers in the world, we kind of like that play style to play against, so it's going to be fun.
Well, FaZe is next up on your plate, but the next match we're going to be having will be Misfits and the Hellraisers. Who do you take in that one?
I think both have been playing really good, but my vote goes for Hellraisers. 2-1.
2-1?
2-1.
2-1. He said 2-1. All right, he's going to give the Misfits a map, and I'm going to give it back to the Xfinity analyst desk.
Great stuff there. Jumpy's already weighing in on his expectations for our next series, and we'll be talking all about that after our break. Anything you learned from that interview in particular? I mean, just getting to see Jumpy on camera doing his thing?
Well, I was hoping he's going to do more than pun about Golden being a golden pickup and tell us, how much does he actually do for the team and how much do other players contribute when it comes to the new style and everything. But doesn't want to reveal too much perhaps while they're still in the tournament.
Yeah, those inner workings of the team, something still yet to be truly exposed about what Golden is contributing to Fnatic. Maybe tomorrow, seeing how their results go versus FaZe. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a break. We've got some fantastic questions about Hellraisers and Misfits, but we've also got a fantastic question to take us out to our break. It's a big one, and we're going to watch the video now.